Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. I got a question for you. And just please drop a response in the comment section below. I gotta know, like, what the hell do they think they're doing? You tell me. What they just did here, does it not make them look substantially more guilty than they otherwise would? The SEC, they just removed the biography of Bill Hinman from their official SEC website. That's what those little asshat pricks did. Why might that be? Well, let me tell you something, and I don't think this is a coincidence at all. Just as a little refresher in case you may have forgotten. But the Billy Boy Hinman Ethereum Free Pass emails and the drafts of the speech leading up to that, that's going to be made public in about a week. So technically the deadline is June 13th. It could, in theory, come out a little bit sooner. Maybe it will. I'm not that convinced, but it could. So is it coincidence that all that stuff's coming out, the stuff that Brad Garlinghouse said would be shocking to all of us, and then suddenly the biography's going... I don't think it's coincidence, but I'm still scratching my head going, what the hell it is you think you'd be hiding? Like, who are you tricking? Who is getting tricked about anything regarding this? It's completely ridiculous. So I'm going to talk about that and also some Charles Hoskinson stuff because, with the whole Binance story, we're going to have an entire barrel of fun right here. Not like a quarter barrel, not a half, but an entire barrel of fun all up in this room temperature jam. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, as a quick primer, just going to share a couple of tweets. First one from Stuart Albright. This is Ripple's chief legal officer. He wrote this on October 20th last year because, mind you, although we do not have the Billy Boy Hinman Ethereum Free Pass emails and drafts of the speech lead up, we don't have that. We're about to, though. Ripple had that last year. They just weren't allowed to share it. So after they finally got their hands on it, Stuart Albright tweeted out the following. October last year. Over 18 months and 6 court orders later, we finally have the Hinman docs, internal SEC emails, and drafts of his infamous 2018 speech. While they remain confidential for now, at the SEC's insistence, I can say that it was well worth the fight to get them. I've always felt good about our legal arguments, and I feel even better now. I always felt bad about the SEC's tactics, and I feel even worse about them now. So again, there's a reason I gotta set this primer because I'm going to show you. Here's what Brad Garlinghouse said. He retweeted that from Stuart Albright, and this is also October 20th last year. Brad Garlinghouse said, "The SEC wants you to think that it cares about disclosure, transparency, and clarity. Don't believe them. When the truth eventually comes out, the shamefulness of their behavior here will shock you." Okay, so that's a good primer. Now check this out, though. Here's the headline from the Crypto Basic. SEC removes Hinman's biography with only 8 days left to publicly release Hinman docs. Like, what are they trying to do? This human doesn't exist. What are you talking about? Like, what are they trying to do here? Are you kidding me? This is laughable. Oh my God, these people are the worst. Piece reads as follows. XRP enthusiasts believe the SEC wants to distance itself from Hinman ahead of the release of Hinman's email. Oh, you think? With only 8 days left before Hinman's emails are released to the public, the SEC has removed a significant part of William Hinman's biography from its website. Before now, Hinman's biography on the SEC's website includes vital details about the former director of SEC's corporation finance, especially his employment history. However, his biography on the SEC website only shows that Hinman was the former director of SEC's corporation finance division from May 2017 to December 2020. The only thing that would make this even more ridiculous if they're like, oh, that was a computer glitch or some nonsense like that. And I would love for them to say that because if they type that, that's what it'll sound like in my mind. I don't know, computer bug, like something like that. So this actually came to be, well, we found out about it because of XRP community member Stefan Huber. So here you can see he's got a screen grab of William Hinman's biography in all of its glory, if you will, right there on your screen. And here's what it looks like now. This is the actual SEC website pulled up on my screen. Oh, what do you know? The text is gone. This is stupid as hell. What are they even doing here? Who do they think they're going to trick with this? They're trying to make things just that little bit harder. And that's it's computer glitch. No, I don't think it is, son. Oh my God. So it's laughable, but this is where we're at right now. Y'all tell me, did you get tricked? Are y'all stumped by any of this? Now, that's not the only thing going on. As most of you are aware of by now, the SEC has fulfilled John Deaton's prophecy by suing Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. I was talking about it in my very last video. I want to share with you something else, though, and this is kind of rich here, because Charles Hoskinson, you may recall that this past fall, he was saying all sorts of nonsense about XRP community members engaging in what he called a grand conspiracy, so on and so forth. And if you can go back, like I documented it quite well on my channel. You can go back and listen to all my videos at that time period. And when he started to say stuff along those lines, I remember my first video, I was like, well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, there could have been some sort of misunderstanding, this or that. Always willing and happy, because it's the right thing to do, to give people the benefit of the doubt. But the more time passed, day by day by day, it became very clear that what he was intentionally doing, and I do believe this, what he was intentionally doing is mischaracterizing the situation, saying things that he had to have known were not true, to disparage the XRP community. Now, of course, you can always find with a gigantic community like ours, like millions of people, mind you, you can always find fringe members that are acting inappropriately with any group, no matter what the topic is, whatever's at the core. If it's a huge group of millions, yes, of course you can find inappropriate behavior. And there was some of that, and I spoke out against that, actually, even in my own videos on this channel. And I'll still speak out against that type of thing. But what he did was he'd take those examples and say, this is the entirety, the way he painted this is the entirety of the XRP community. He painted it as all with this broad stroke of a brush. That's what he was doing. It was complete and utter nonsense. And I put out something like it was like a 21, 22, 23 tweet thread, breaking it down using his own words, showing what community was actually doing. It completely destroyed the narrative that he was putting down. So I'm just glad that it's out there still. It's on my Twitter. It's on my videos, on my YouTube channel. And I'm glad that I pushed back against it. So I'm still pretty disgusted by all of that. Now, that said, what's happening here today is that we now know that the SEC is claiming that Charles Hoskinson's Cardano, they're claiming that it's a security. So I'm having a little bit of fun with this, but I'm going to tell you right now, it is just me having a little bit of fun with this, because when it comes down to it, like, I did lose a ton of respect for Charles Hoskinson because I don't believe he's acting in good faith, but I've been a Cardano holder since the end of 2017 when I jumped into crypto. That's how long I've been holding it, right? And so I'll just say, I don't have to be a gigantic Charles Hoskinson fan to jump at the opportunity to push back against the SEC when they're starting to claim that the token itself is a security or any of those no. I'm going to push back. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not going to have a little bit of fun in this video, because I'll tell you what, this is my channel, damn it, I do what I want. So here's the thing. Charles Hoskinson, I'm going to share with you what he said. It's on the screen right here. I want to read it real quick. And I did have a little bit of fun on Twitter. Just before recording this video, I shared a screen grab of his tweet talking about this whole Binance situation, claiming Cardano's a security. And I simply wrote, grand conspiracy. I'm just having a little bit of fun. So I'm still going to push back against the SEC. Everything that he said, as much as it frustrates me, and I lost respect for the guy, I'm still going to push back against the SEC. So again, I just want to say it twice there. But here's what Charles Hoskinson had to say. He wrote, with respect to Binance, I'm reading through the SEC complaint. It's over 130 pages, but seems like the next in a series of steps to implement Choke Point 2.0 in the United States. The end goal is a agenda-based CBDC partnered with a handful of massive banks and end-to-end control over every aspect of your financial life. And let's pause and note, whether that's true or not, I don't actually think that's crazy. Maybe that's the goal from some of these people in the upper echelon, the upper crust of the United States, government, so and so. Fine. If it is, great. Whether it is or isn't true, I don't think it's crazy is the point. He can say his piece, and I'm not going to say that, not with, not genuinely, I'm not going to genuinely say that he's espousing some conspiracy or grand conspiracy, which is why I said I'm having a little fun here. And we all deserve to have a little fun after what the hell he just said about our community last year, just saying. And then he wrote, a regulatory event, excuse me, is where you have a debate about compliance with a law or guidance. This event seems to be a political, philosophical disagreement with the very existence of cryptocurrencies and what they represent. An unelected group of people have decided that concepts like self-sovereign identity, owning your wallet, and the freedom to control your economic agency should be removed from the masses and given to the enlightened few. Honestly, what is happening isn't anything new. It's always the same fight between freedom and authoritarianism, just with different players, technology, and words. It does seem like this event is a perfect opportunity for the entire industry to set aside its fragmented nature and unite for a common sense set of rules and guidelines that can prevent the United States from slipping into a dystopia that would make 1984 look like a vacation. I'll have more to say later, but we'll close with, we are going to be fine. Everything's all right, and the future is bright for the industry. Okay, that's what Charles Hoskinson had to say. Now, the part that really made me go, was towards the end of this, where he said, quote, it does seem like this event is a perfect opportunity for the entire industry to set aside its fragmented nature and unite. Okay, what the hell do you think the SEC v. Ripple case was? Was that not a call to, push back against this nonsense? Because it's just continuing here now against Cardano. And this is the reason it grinds my gears, folks. And again, I'm still going to push back against the SEC. I'm not one that's saying I didn't sell my Cardano. I didn't. And a lot of you out there listening, I'm sure did. And I'm not going to disparage you for doing that. Like, we all get to make our own adult choices. That's fine if that's what you wanted to do. But, I'm just saying I think it makes more sense for us to, stay together and push back here. But it bothers me because Charles Hoskinson is espousing that concept, which we've been saying for 2.5 years here in the XRP community. But he wasn't, where did we see that from him when he was calling us all like conspiracy nut jobs? Like, where was this type of demeanor back now that his Cardano's under attack? Give me a break here. I'm sorry, I just got to say it like it is. I got to do it. Doesn't mean I won't push back. I'm going to push back. And I think the right thing to do is band together. But if you're not going to give me like 5 seconds to sound off of my own damn channel, then just, I don't know. I guess here's a bag of eggplant emojis for you to put in and around your facial region, because I deserve to sound off on this, because it's disgusting, the crap that he put out there. And he's got such a massive following, close to I think 1 million followers, almost, right? What's he got? 976,000 followers on Twitter, espousing all this crap about our community? No. You don't just get a free pass on that. So yes, I'm still going to rally around you, but I'm venting right now. That's how this is going to go. So let me share with you some of the responses from our fellow XRP community members. Kryptonym wrote to Charles Hoskinson and said, "You sound like a conspiracy theorist, LOL." And that did make me laugh, which is the reason that I'm highlighting it in the video. That was good. It's like, sometimes it's like Billy Shakespeare said, brevity is the soul of wit. And that's all it takes. A little one-liner right there. You sound like a conspiracy theorist, LOL. Because look, to be clear, again, I don't think any of us think he's being a conspiracy theorist, but that's the point. He claimed that we were just observing what was happening, within the XRP ecosystem, what the SEC had done, and connecting dots that deserve to be connected. And then lying about stuff and just being an adult cryberry, and then painting himself to be a victim. That's one of the things that bothered me the most about this. Just acting as though it was just the XRP community just coming out and attacking him when he's the one that started all this crap. Yeah, I ain't having it, son. XRP Crypto Wolf responded to Charles Hoskinson, and he wrote, XRP community doesn't sound like a bunch of conspiracy theorists anymore. now that the SEC labeled Cardano as a security. Spot on. And then there was this from XRP community member XRP for Life, who wrote, one word, karma. Spot on. And then there's this from Francis Bovine Swift, who, by the way, created the new XRP Rich List. Fantastic website. I've highlighted it on the channel before. And he has this little gif of Nelson from The Simpsons, you know, the guy that goes, you know, that guy. And he wrote the following. Man, if you would have said this any time before Cardano was drug into the fight, I'd have had sympathy and stood by your side in the battle. But as it stands, I'm with Nelson on this one. And it's got the little, and I get it. I understand. That's why, honestly, anybody that feels like that, if you're not going to rally around it, I get it. I'm still going to try and nudge you, like, well, totally respecting where you're coming from. I'm going to try and nudge you into just supporting Cardano, because it's more so about like supporting the broader crypto sphere. That's the way I look about it. It's not like I'm a big fan of Charles Hoskinson. I used to be a gigantic fan, and he is a brilliant guy. Like he's absolutely ridiculously, and the stuff he's done, it's impressive. But you know, all humans have faults, and he's got one notable one here. He just can't admit when he's wrong. But it's not just that. You know, to go out there and disparage people that didn't do a damn thing to an entire community, like, yeah. So I get it, but I'll still say this again: if you're one of the people that's like, no, I ain't gonna support this guy, just okay, don't make it about him. I would just encourage you, and it's up to you. I'll respect whatever your choice is for sure, but I'll encourage you to just, you know, take a step back and think, okay, it's not about Charles Hoskinson. Support Cardano, support the entire crypto sphere. Like, that's it. That's pretty much it. That's the way I'm looking at it. And yes, I'm biased because I hold Cardano, but for any coin that's getting attacked, that's going to be my stance. If the SEC is going after him, I'm like, nope. And then there was this from XRP community member Kevin Smith, wrote to Charles Hoskinson and said, yes, agreed. A good start towards uniting the industry would be an apology from you towards those within the XRP community you demonized unfairly by tarring us all with the same brush for the actions of a few. Otherwise, Charles, I'm afraid you come across a bit of a hypocrite. Spot on. And it's true. And look, I even push back against the small percentage of our community that was actually being completely unreasonable towards him. And I stand by that. Like, if you are being unreasonable, I'm going to notice it. I'm going to say it. But don't act as though it's the entirety or the majority or a substantial portion even of the XRP community when clearly it is not. It's disgusting. It's inexcusable. And absolutely an apology is due. If you want the XRP community to rally around you, I mean, some of us, like, I'm going to, but if you want the rest of them to, the ones that are really not happy with you, just apologize. And see, that's the whole thing. Like, by him acting in this way, this childish way, he made it so that he'd have less support when it came to the SEC's attack against his project, his Cardano. How about that? XRP community member JV wrote in response to this, all of this unite talk should have been had when Ripple and XRP came under fire. Ironically, the only way the future becomes bright now is if Ripple wins. After years of the industry treating them like the black sheep, they're now looking like the knight in shining armor. Spot on. Absolutely. And here you have CZ, the founder and CEO of Binance, which is now sued into oblivion. We'll see what happens. With the world's largest exchange, mind you. He wrote, first he had a little thank you emoji, and then he wrote, a perfect opportunity for the entire industry to set aside its fragmented nature and unite for a common sense set of rules and guidelines, end quote. So he's quoting Hoskinson there. Okay, well, again, great. I'm going to agree with that. That's fantastic. We want that. But we're not going to just jump straight into that without first ridiculing you for your nonsense position and the lies you spouted against our community. But now that we've done that, I'm on board. I'm going to back Cardano. I'm going to keep holding it, and I'm going to push back against the SEC. But a little venting is perfectly reasonable. I firmly believe that. So anyway, I'll just let me try and nudge you. If you're one of the people that is so offended that you're like, no, I'm never going to say anything positive that would help Cardano in this situation, I'm just going to try and nudge you a little. You make a decision. I respect it either way. I'm going to try and nudge you and just reconsider. I respectfully ask that you reconsider because it's for the betterment of the entire cryptosphere. Because if the SEC gets a foothold in, attacking one project, I mean, the chain effect that you could have as a result, it's just not good. It's in your interest, like it or not, to just push back against it. It doesn't mean you have to be a big fan of Charles Hoskinson, but let's just push back. Let's just be united and let's just do it. That's what I think. So you tell me what you think. It's okay if you disagree. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.